All right, let's do this again. I'm Thomas Eketorp. I'm the product manager here at Lime. There was Magnus in the invitation. I'll be filling in for him because he couldn't make it. And with me is also my fellow colleague Edwin, who will be taking your questions and giving answers as we go along. So there is a Q&A section here where you can ask your questions. And please feel free to ask your questions as we go along, and Edwin will happily answer your questions. If you ask them in English, everyone will be able to understand them, but they'll can also understand Swedish, so we can ask your questions in Swedish too. So today we're going to be looking at some new features, and one is the new to-do workflow in the web client. It's lighter and it's smoother and faster. We're also going to be looking at users and group management that is not done in Lisa, but in this new tool, Lime Admin instead. I'm also going to talk about the improved speed and performance of the web client, something that we continuously try to improve and what's been improved lately. Then we have a feature called stacked cards. It's a bit cryptic, but it's about making navigation faster and smoother and easier to understand. And also going to talk about Lime BI and the news that we have for you there. All right, so if we just jump right in and look at the features. But first thing, I want to give you a treat of an existing feature that's been around for some time, but maybe not that many of you know of. And we call this feature Show Connected, and it's great when you want to find, for example, customers based on something that maybe persons have. So you can't really find this property in the customer overview. So let me give you an example. I want to try to find all customers that have a CEO listed. All right, so then I would actually head first to persons. And here I would try to find the CEOs. And as you see, you also have the data quality is so and so. So we have a mix of languages, Swedish and English in this case. So I'm going to write CEO VD as there. It's called in Swedish. Okay. So here I have my 25 persons. Now I can show connected objects. So here I can choose to show which companies, deals, leads, to-dos, etc. these persons belong to. So I'm going to show company, and here are the companies that have a CEO listed. And this is very powerful when you're trying to find any type of records based on properties that are found under tabs, for example, customers based on deals or customers based on to-dos or things like that. And here I'm able to save this as a new filter set if I want to, and I can call it companies with CEO. All right, so let's get to the new features. And the first feature is the new to-do workflow. So let me go to start page where I keep my to-dos. And if you're not familiar with the concept of multiple start pages, please feel free to look up our product news or the previous webinar about that. So first I'm going to show you the existing way of working. So probably what you are used to. So I'm just going to actually turn the new features off. And if you didn't know it already, you have a way of adjusting this side panel to your liking. So some people like to use a big side panel and some people like to use small, depending on what you want to see in the background. Just grab this bottom corner and drag. So previously, when you mark a to-do as done, you're given this window and where you can add to-dos and you can add notes. And if you just want to close it, you have to go and click cancel here. And we've had problems, people not being able to configure this and found this workflow a bit wonky and including lots of clicks and actions, just if they want to mark it to do as done and move on. And the postpone feature has been very similar. We have a hierarchy of different times where how you want to postpone it, and it's also lots of clicks before you find the right time to postpone this to, and a lot of clicks to add notes, and very strict way of working. And this leaves very little flexibility also for a lot of customers who want to customize this flow. All right, and you can only write notes here when you mark it to do as done or when you postpone it. But a lot of our users like to open it to do and just write a history note on the fly, not necessarily when they mark it to do as done or when they postpone it. Okay, so given that, let me turn on the new features. And I'm also going to be turning on some new features here. This is not important how I turn this on. All right, so the first thing you're going to see is that we have a little widget here. The quick note widget is what we call it. This makes it easy for you to just add a note on the fly. So if I just try to call Christian here, I can just add a note here, quickly and smoothly and easy, no matter if the to is done or if I'm postponing, just adding notes as we go along. And we really like people adding notes because we think the history is so important in Live CRM. If I'd like to postpone this, I'm given a much lighter, smaller window here, but actually holds even more features than the previous one. So I can easily set this to 5 days later, or I can set custom times if I'd like to. Much fewer clicks and a lot less effort than the previous one. And when I mark a to-do as done, it's just done. No window, no nothing. But I'm given the opportunity, or CRM is inviting you to add a next to-do, because a lot of the workflows people have involves having another to-do. If you're driving a deal, for example, unless you want it, you should have probably a next step. So we have the possibility to add a new to-do, and here it's just the same interface as when you create to-dos otherwise. So here we have the same customizability and flexibility as normally. All right, this is a feature that is currently available as beta. So if you'd like it turned on, we can turn it on for you, but we'll be rolling it out to you within the next coming weeks. So if you are in our cloud, you will get these new features very soon. Okay, so the next feature and leaving to do, we're going to be looking at users and group management. And if we have any administrators here, you know that you have to visit a tool called Lisa. If you want to add a user, if you want to reset a password, create a group or add a user to a group or things like that. That is no longer needed. So if I go to the administrators page, I end up in a tool called Lime Admin. And under security, system security, I can manage users and groups. The first thing you're going to notice is that this is much faster than working in Lisa. Lisa is very slow, and sometimes you can go and grab a coffee in between clicks. So if I want to create a new user, call him Art and delay. And we'll call him Artie. And let's add him to users. Simple as that. And if you want to find him, here we have Artie. And the common thing that administrators probably do, maybe less often, I don't know if password management has improved, but is that people forget their passwords and they ask administrators to reset their passwords. So let's say Artie, he's forgotten his password, so I can select him, set password, and I'm going to give him a new one. And the same goes for group management. You can enter a group and add users from here as well, or you can go from a user and add them to a group anywhere you like. So let's say I want to add Artie to this group. Easy as that. All right. So that's the basics of the users and groups management. It's not that complicated, and it should not be complicated. It just should be easy and smooth. And we hope you feel that way too. Okay, moving on and talking about speed and performance. And one of my favorite quotes is actually from Google, where someone was talking about the speed of Google or the search engine. And he said, speed is not a feature, it's the feature. And I like that to be true for CRM as well. A snappy system that is responsive and quick is a must for being a productivity tool as it is. So I'm actually very happy and proud to say that the web client starts much faster these days if you do a refresh. The time here has over the 2 years gone from about 10 seconds to, well, yeah, now I'm on a bad line, but usually it takes about 1 second or something like that. And that depends also on the solution you're having. The start pages load much faster, so pretty instantly, but the content can come later, especially if we have BI content here, that takes a bit to load. Cards open much faster, so this load much faster, and the search is the biggest change we've done, I would say, where we have changed the whole technology pretty much behind it to make it faster and reliable. So I hope you will find that it's very snappy and very quick, and this should be the main place for a lot of users that you go to. So, but the best is actually yet to come. We have really interesting things in the pipeline regarding performance, and you will see the web client getting even faster and even snappier within the coming months, I hope. Okay, that's the speed. Let's move on to the next feature. And it's a bit of an interesting feature, and we like to call it stacked cards, and it's about navigating in the web client. So this, what I'm seeing to the right, we call the side panel. And you open up, but you keep what you have next to you all the time. So Previously, what's happened if I click something in the side panel, the next card would open on top. And if I click something else, the other thing would open on top. But now we get this visualization that it opens on top, but I can still see it behind me. And if I open a person, that person will open up. So I can actually see what's behind here and able to navigate back straight to the deal. And to the person, for example, to the company, and be able to close. Oh, and if I accidentally closed Vandla Industries, I can just press the back button in the browser and I will go back here. And we find this navigation to be very easy and smooth, especially when you're browsing around and not sure exactly what you're looking for, but going around in tabs and looking for certain records and be able to head back the way you want to. This feature is turned on for everyone in our cloud. Some of you might be running a later version in our cloud. If so, you will be getting this feature shortly. And it is included in the next on-prem installation. So those of you who will be upgrading shortly, you will have this too. Okay, so going to our last feature, and it's about Lime BI and the improvements there. And if you're not using Lime BI already, BI stands for Business Intelligence, and it's about reporting and insights of the data in CRM. And here I have a widget from BI. So on the start page, I can show some key numbers that's really highlighting how the performance is going. But BI holds more than that. So this is just a window into Lime BI. And the first feature I want to show is that we have the possibility to have more colors here. It might not seem that big of an issue or big of a feature actually, but it's really convenient to have different shades of the same color. In this case, light green and a bit darker green to compare quoted versus won or last year towards this year. So if I have the rights to do it, I can go into Lime BI and you will see this login possibility if you have the policies. This might take some time to load, but please bear with me. Okay, so quotations, that was the dashboard I was looking at. And here I have some graphs and I can edit this. So here I have the possibility to change colors and have more colors. Previously, you only had one set of like shades, so I can only use these, but this would make it hard to show things as quoted versus one or previous year versus this one. So let's say I want to go for blue instead. And much easier to understand in this way. And we also have a few filtering options that you can do based on dates. I'm not going to go into the details there, but please feel free to walk around in Lime BI and have a look. And the last thing I'm going to show regarding Lime BI is the possibility to share a public link. So public links are great for showing a dashboard to someone or somewhere who doesn't have access to Lime BI. So let's say you want to display these quotations dashboard on a TV screen in a sales meeting, or maybe permanently on a TV screen somewhere in the lobby because you're so proud of your numbers. Maybe you have a member of the board, or actually the whole board, and they don't have access to Lime BI nor Lime CRM. So you want to send them a link to this dashboard that they can use and reuse all the time. And this feature that I'm going to show is only for cloud, because if you are running Lime CRM on-prem, you actually do not need this specific feature. You have the ability to do this within Lime BI. But for those of you who are running in cloud, this will be a feature for you. So let's say I want to add, let's actually take this quotations that we're looking for and hit publish. And it's as easy as that. We get a link here. And as you see, this is an impossible link to guess, but everyone who has this link will be able to access this dashboard. So what you do is you copy this and you put it where you want to. Embed it in the home page, in an email, Teams message, or whatever. Okay, let's say that you've shared this with the board, but now Stefan leaves the board and Stefan should not have access to this anymore. Well, then you can unpublish this. And this is actually what I would call killing the link. So if I click on publish, the link I had previously will stop working for everyone. And now Lena is joining the board. So I do want this one, quotations. So I'm going to publish it again. Oh, it ended up there. So this would be the new link. Okay. So let's see. These are the things I've been talking about today. First, we talked about the new to-do workflow, where we have less windows in your face and hopefully smoother and quicker. Then we talked about users and groups in Lime Admin, and you no longer need Lisa for doing this. Talked about the speed and performance and how that's going to improve even more as we go along. The stacked cards and navigational feature that lets you move smoothly in CRM. And then I talked a bit about Lime BI news, more colors and public links. I hope you enjoyed this, and I haven't had a look in the Q&A section if it's bursting, but I'm gonna leave this open for some time for you to ask your questions and get your answers. So the webinar will continue a bit more, but that's all I had to say. Hope it was informative, and until next time, have a great one.